If you've been on social media anytime within the last 2 or 3 days, you have likely seen videos of what is happening down here in the state of Florida. We have farms that are sitting there untended across the state. Construction sites completely abandoned. All because Ron DeSantis recently signed a piece of legislation that increases the penalties for individuals who hire and use undocumented migrant labor here in the state of Florida. Undocumented migrant workers make up more than 400,000 workers in the Florida workforce. Some estimates have that number as high as 600,000 workers. So because DeSantis signed this legislation that will fine a company or an individual hiring one of these people $10,000 per person they hire, suddenly these people are walking out. And of course, they run the risk of deportation because now you have to use the E-Verify system. Out-of-state's driver's licenses for undocumented migrants are no longer valid in the state of Florida. It is a horrific piece of legislation targeting immigrants so that DeSantis can seem tough on immigration when he launches his presidential bid, probably at this point within just a few days. That's the goal of it. It's not necessarily about Florida, even though we're suffering the repercussions of it. It's so DeSantis can go out there and say, look at me, I'm tough on immigration, vote for me. And he announced this while he was at a podium, with a big sign behind him that said Biden's border crisis. Now, this is going to destroy Florida's economy. As I said, we have hundreds of thousands of undocumented migrant laborers here in the state of Florida. They work in the farming industry, which agriculture is a huge industry here in Florida. It's one people tend to forget about. They work in construction. And considering we're in the path of a lot of hurricanes, we have a year-round, very robust construction industry that is dependent upon these migrants. They work in the trucking industry. We now have truckers attempting to boycott bringing goods to the state of Florida because of this law. There are videos of store shelves being emptied because there's nothing to replace them because the truckers won't come into Florida now. They work in the hospitality industry. They work in the hotels, they work in the restaurants, which is the lifeblood of the Florida economy. So Ron DeSantis, what he has done with this legislation is he has said, I am willing to cripple Florida's economy. I am willing to cripple not just big businesses, but small businesses as well. Because landscaping is also a very big industry here in Florida, and it's also one of the biggest industries relying on undocumented migrant labor. Ron DeSantis doesn't care. He will let your business go under. He will let your crops rot in the field. He will let your hotel rooms stay empty and dirty. All because he wants to gain more votes when he finally announces that he is running for president. Oh, and by the way, this legislation also gives him an extra $12 million so that he can continue with his little migrant flights around the country, taking them up from Florida or anywhere else and shipping them over to cities run by Democrats. And he's not doing it because he cares about the plight of the migrant workers. He's not doing it to help Florida's economy. He is intentionally taking our economy down here so that he can gain some more votes when he finally runs for president. This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.